If you feel like you don't have one particular calling, if you hear me talking about blue flame and say, well, Jen, I don't have one blue flame. I don't have one passion that is my neurotic hyperfixation like you have, and you feel a little lost in that. Like, should you be finding your one single calling? Is this a problem? Then this episode is for you. When you can't find that one thing, I don't think it's a problem at all. I think you just kind of go fish, like playing the card game. Now, I hate card games. They make my brain break. So it occurs to me that maybe I don't know the rules of Go Fish, and this is a terrible analogy. But on this episode, speaking of hyperfixations, we will be diving into my latest hyperfixation, which is tinned fish. I'll take you on the whole backstory of how this happened, of how we got here, and what exactly is going on. So I thought Go Fish would be the perfect title for this episode. So yeah, if you feel like you don't know what that one calling is, just keep fishing. Just keep going out there, putting yourself out there, and you will be amazed by what happens. And don't forget, Charlotte, North Carolina, and Greenville, South Carolina, I am there this weekend. Charlotte, I am there tomorrow. As of when this episode comes out, I'm also heading to Birmingham, Huntsville, and Nashville. And you can find all those links in the show notes. And of course, my brand new comedy special, Maternal Instinct, is out on early release now. You can pay what you want at jfcomedyspecial.com to get early access right now. Or you can just wait until it is released on YouTube in July. I will need lots of likes and comments and engagement when it comes out for the public on YouTube in July. July 11th, I'll be doing a live and everything, so put that on your calendar. If anyone is like, hey, you have an opportunity to be really involved in the SpaceX program, to go into space. But if they say it's July 11th, you'll be like, I'm so sorry. I need to be helping Jen with her engagement on her YouTube release of her comedy special on July 11th. So I actually really can't do that. So on this fine episode, speaking of YouTube, if you're watching this on YouTube, you see that I have a whole table set up next to me, and we are doing a tinned fish tasting. And my husband Joe, who will be here in like 10 minutes, because I need to set up the show first. We can't just jump into this. We will be tasting Katlyn. She's so excited. She can't wait. We'll be tasting sardines, trout, and this, I don't know what this little blob is. It's a white little chunk of something here. What is it? Says nutritious and delicious, Katlyn. Oh, mackerel. Katlyn was hoping we'd get some mackerel. And then listen, Yay. All the hot girls on TikTok, they eat these mussels. Not mussels like on your butt. Katlyn's already throwing up. No, look, just because it looks like, I don't even want to say what it looks like, but it does. Okay. It looks like something that a doctor would remove from your body in an outpatient surgical procedure. But that doesn't mean it's not delicious and nutritious. I think Katlyn's going to quit. If we have a new producer starting in the next episode, I think that this is going to be it. So we will talk in just a moment about how I got on this tangent and why we are doing this tasting and why poor Katlyn is being subjected to this. Welcome to the Jen Fulwiler Show. This is the podcast where you learn the art of the village hustle. That's being a hot girl boss, or hot boy boss who knows that love and family and community are the foundations of all true success. I'm your host, Jen. I'm a best-selling author, stand-up comic, and mom of 6. We are coming to you from Austin, Texas. Katlyn White is our fabulous producer, and we just heard a loud crash outside the studio door, but this is the village life, that there's always some kind of chaos outside of our studio door. It's like Katlyn, did you ever see Poltergeist?
Oh, yeah.
Because, it's like the other dimension is on the other side of her closet where all the demons live. That's what it feels like when we do this podcast. It's like there's a glow around the edges of the door, and you don't want to open it because you'll get sucked in and covered in slime and jelly, and you'll never be able to come back.
That's so accurate.
It's so accurate. It's so accurate. And I don't know where I was. We're in Austin. Oh yeah. We do premium content on Patreon, and you can work with Katlyn. She is a very fabulous video editor. She does other types of things like that. All those links are in the show notes. Now, not next episode, but the one after. So not episode 210, but the one after that. I have to take a week off so that you don't need to call 911. Normally we publish every single Wednesday without fail. There will be an episode up that week, but it will need to be a rerun because I am hitting a wall. We have so much stuff going on between my Carolinas shows, and then I'm taking my daughter to college orientation, and then we are going on a family vacation. And listen, I look forward to it now. Now I look forward to family vacation. When my kids were little, I didn't look forward to it. And moms, it's okay if you don't look forward to your family vacation. Moms, of course you don't look forward to your family vacation. That would be like a zookeeper trying to take their animals from the zoo to a Broadway show. It's like there's going to be a lot of screaming. We're going to annoy everyone, and someone's probably going to die. It's like I can only handle these creatures in their enclosure. That is how moms of young children think why vacation is just like never fun for moms when you have little kids. So but it's good. It's still good to do it. It's like, if your kids if they're in therapy or, when they're teens or older and they're like, I have a lot of trauma from my childhood, you can be like, okay, but do you remember these pictures of when we went to Banff? Do you like, hey, we went rafting on the Colorado River and it was fine. Yes, I forgot, toothbrushes and changes of clothes, but look at these pictures. These are really good pictures. I only face-tuned them a little bit. So no, it's still good to do, even though it's hard. Just, get the pictures. I always tell you guys, you're running. You should think of your role as a mom. One of your roles is you're running a PR firm, and you need to tell the story of your family back to your family. You need to narrate it for them, and pictures help. You're like, look at the good times we have. Was I slamming cabinets all day long yesterday and I stayed in bed till noon and then I scrolled TikTok for 3 hours? Yes, but do you remember? Do you remember when we went to Epcot? You have to narrate the story of your family back to your family so that they understand it. Okay. My husband is eagerly waiting to join us in the tinned fish tasting. So let me set this up. What got me on to this tinned fish kick is that there's this huge trend on TikTok where they say hot girls eat tinned fish. And indeed, the hottest girls are eating tinned fish for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And now I have had some naysayers come at me and say, Jen, do you think that maybe that one hot girl that you follow is so hot because she is 22, she goes hiking 3 times a week, she is a Pilates instructor who volunteers as a yoga instructor on the side, and her father is a famous plastic surgeon? Like, do you think that any of those factors could be the reason she is hot? Tinned fish, there is like, that's correlation, not causation. No, I think it's the tinned fish. Definitely. I think that is the sole reason that she looks like that. And I think that eating tinned fish, I think it's the missing piece of the puzzle in my life. Now, just because I have never done it, and that's another thing you guys should know. I've never had tinned fish, really. I think I've tried sardines like twice, but I've never had anything like this. So just because I've never done it, and I very strongly perceive that I do not like canned animal products, that does not mean that it's not the missing piece of my life. Like, because you know what it's going to be? I know all these people are like, this is one of Jen's, on the spectrum hyperfixations. Like, this is a phase. We will never hear about tinned fish after like July 1st, 2024. She's never going to say a word about it again. No. And in fact, we have a special sound effect for when we transport you guys into the future Do I have like a wig or anything, Caitlin?
You got a boa.
Yeah. Okay. Hang on. Okay. So do the special sound effect for when we go into the future. So we're going to go into the future briefly, so you guys can hear what's going on with me at the end of November 2024. Okay, we're going into the future. Okay, here we go. And you can tell it's not regular me anymore if you're watching on YouTube, because I look different. So obviously, this is okay. Hey guys, welcome to the Jen Fulwiler Show. It is late November 2024. And listen, for those of you who are worried about how much weight I've lost, I do have to address this because I'm getting like 10,000 emails a day. No, it's actually okay. I feel really healthy. I just won that triathlon. It was just a warm up for the Ironman, but I think I'm feeling pretty good about it. And I've been getting up at 5 a.m. every day because I find that consistency is important. Have you guys read the book Atomic Habits? I think you'd really enjoy it. I know that I've been keeping up with my habits perfectly. Did you know that small changes done consistently can change your life? I have been perfectly consistent with my Atomic Habits. And listen, for you haters out there who are like, Jen's too hot. Like, hey, I mean, it's the tinned fish, okay? So you don't need to come at me with all your jealousy, because I eat tinned fish 3 times a day now. And like back in June of 2024, I would have said like, ooh, gross, it's a pulsating white blob. But then I got past it. And now I am exactly like the girls on TikTok. I'm tan. Now it doesn't look, but we have the white balance is off on this episode here in November. In the future, we're in the future because I'm talking to you guys in the past. No, actually, I'm talking to the president. Whatever. It's hard to be a time traveler, okay?
We are where we are.
Yeah, we are where we are. So I'm actually really tan, but Caitlin messed up the white balance. So she's just doing some training on that. And so yeah, I mean, it really is. And you were asking like, why did Netflix give me $5 million for that special? Also tinned fish. They just saw some of my tinned fish content and they were like, she is in such good shape. We would like a really like fitness forward person to have a comedy special. And so that kind of also answers that question. Anyway, I'm heading out to the Hamptons this weekend on my private jet. So anyway, tinned fish. Okay, now hit the sound effect for when we go back to the present. Okay. So that's how it's going to be. This is not a phase. And also because I've never tried any of this, but I've already determined it's not a phase. This is a lifestyle that I have never once tried and perceived to be very gross. But I'm convinced because play the Shark Tank clip. Play this clip from Shark Tank. Look at this.
And what we're seeing in the category is that the premium brands are growing 3 times faster than the commodity or conventional brands.
They're talking about tinned fish.
Hot girls eat tinned fish,
Hot girls eat tinned fish.
I don't know if you guys know, but the TikTok trend is hot girls eat tinned fish.
And is that because it's good for you?
Because it's good for you and it's delicious, and people are doing really elegant charcuterie boards. By the way, high-end restaurants are now serving tinned fish. There are tinned fish in champagne bars. Like, this is a huge trend.
See, this is how you find out what is hot. This is how you find out about all the hot trends. And also, you guys know that I have a thing. My favorite influencers are like, I want a guy who works out all the time, like too much even, who's obviously kind of roided up, to yell at me about how I'm failing. I really can't follow enough of those influencers. I love it. I find it very motivating. And I thought that this guy laid out some really interesting data about the benefits of eating tinned fish. And let's listen to he makes a really good case for it. Listen to this.
I want to eat pancakes for breakfast with sugar syrup like a child. Right? That's why you poor and fat. I challenge you for 30 days. Eat sardines for breakfast. Promise you'll feel better in the morning because you won't have that insulin spike from that sugary carbs you've been used to eating. I'm going to add more.
So, I mean, I think that we have now empirically proven the benefits of eating tinned fish because a guy with huge muscles who is also tan said that we are, what did he say? Poor and fat.
Poor and fat.
So that's, you really can't argue with that kind of scientific data. So Katlyn, if you would tell Joe to start heading on in. Joe has not been a part of the podcast for a while. It is always a treat when he stops by. We have also never on this podcast, I don't think, done a live tasting of
Not that I can
anything.
remember.
Yeah. Katlyn, did we get napkins?
Yes.
Because this fish is juicy. It's Caitlin's gonna die.
I'm not gonna make it.
Because I don't want to spill it on myself because then I'll smell like fish, you know. But okay, so all of the girlies who do tinned fish content, they always do it ASMR, and you know what ASMR stands for?
Ugh.
I don't, but what is it?
I don't
again?
actually.
It's whatever. It's sound is in there. Sound. Yeah, I don't know. Okay,
nothing.
whatever. But it's the okay. So look, this is I don't care, Katlyn. This is what they do. They go. Okay, and now look. Okay, before I open this. So much of food is psychological. Katlyn has a very American idea that just because something smells very strongly of a fishy odor and is an amorphous blob, that's not something she should be eating. But that's a very American idea. So I want us, Katlyn, to pretend that we are Scandinavian. Actually, I don't know if they eat tinned fish there. Let's pretend that we're Portuguese, okay? We are Portuguese. They're very big on tinned fish. And so let's pretend that this is normal for us. Like, so you have to get it in your head, like, just like grandma used to serve. Now, this sound is not like.
Oh, God. I cannot.
It doesn't sound great, Okay.
I feel like there should be instructions on how to eat this, though. Because
There are. You eat it with chips and stuff. That's why we have a charcuterie
don't
board.
they have like bones in them and stuff?
No, they're all deboned. Well, I think that would be so
I've never
ridiculous
eaten them.
if we had to call 911 during this podcast because Jen has no attention to detail. Katlyn, would you call Joe? And while you're calling Joe, by the way, he's watching all of our children who just received from me a water balloon launcher. So that could explain what his time scale is over here. So, what's funny is as I was putting this charcuterie board together, I'm not kidding. It was one of the most stressful things I have ever done. My stress level, no kidding, was at like a 10. I'm not kidding. It was mainly opening the little bottles of sauces and things. There is something about that, like taking off the wrapper and all that. If you could have measured my cortisol level, this is not even a joke. It would have been way up. And what's funny is I have done other things that would normally cause people stress. I think the biggest group I've ever spoken in front of, this wasn't one of my shows, but it was at a Focus event, was 18,000 people. And when I was about to walk on stage in this like actual stadium, I wasn't that stressed. It was just, I don't know. You just talk to people. It's not hard. And so, but opening bottles is like, I had to have Katlyn do it. Did I not? I had to have Katlyn. Yeah, I had to have her do it. I was so miserable and stressed out about putting together this charcuterie board. So again, I think a lot of you guys have skills that you don't realize that are actually really impressive to other people. Like if you could do a charcuterie board, then that is actually very impressive to me. Okay, Katlyn, come get set up over here. I will I'm texting Joe, but it's, not a great sign that he's not available. So now
I called
Katlyn.
about 3 people and nobody answered. So.
Okay. All right.
We're doing
Great. So no, it's fine. He's just watching 10 kids who have a water balloon launcher. I am sure that nothing went wrong with that. So, all right. ASMR. I'm going to open this. Okay. So don't let the looks deceive you, Katlyn. She's already psyching herself out. I don't know. Can I lean this forward without getting fish juice on the floor?
No. It's literally right there on the edge.
Okay. Is there, maybe I can pour some of the fish juice into a bowl so that I can show the camera. Okay, so here I'm pouring. Okay, that's not like my favorite visual in the world, but if you, for those of you, JF on YouTube.com, here is, oh, no.
It's going to smell like fish in here for weeks.
Shut up. This is the worst idea I've ever had. Oh, we've got sardine juice all over my studio. This is so good. And okay, one thing that you guys can't see from this setup is that we have is this mohair? Like we have a rug that is furry. I didn't just drizzle this onto like a hardwood floor. It is a furry rug. So it's going to smell like sardines in here forever. All right, great. Now Katlyn, would you like to open the trout? And do it ASMR, like next to your microphone. And I will open the mussels. And by the way, all of these are highly, highly recommended from hot TikTok people. They all, okay. Katlyn hates ASMR. Okay, this is, we need to remember, okay, mussels, yeah, okay.
I was really thinking that'd be louder.
Yeah, I know. Oh. You know what I would like to, I would just like to ask them to put cat food in a different container, because this, I'm not kidding. I think they source tinned fish containers from the same place that supplies cat food containers. And psychologically, it would help me get on the hot girl tinned fish bandwagon if they didn't do that. Okay, maybe. Oh, no. Oh! It did not look like it was that juicy. Okay, so now I have spilled mussel juice on the fur carpet. I would really like for you guys to be able to see this, though. Tell you what. Okay, well, I'll hold it up on a fork. Do we have forks?
Yep.
Caitlin?
Take your pick.
Okay. All right. And then is everything open? Do we have any tinned fish that is not open?
Is this?
Oh, yeah. We wouldn't want to forget that. Okay. And then can you grab the sauces? So we got different sauces because like any good charcuterie board, you have to have different sauces. So Katlyn, would you read not only the sauces, but that just describe what we have here for the people listening on audio. Describe what we have on our tinned fish board.
All right. So we have some original barbecue sauce.
Salt Lick, which
from Salt Lick,
most Texans hate, but they're wrong. It's actually really good.
Really good. Their potato salad too. We have some Sir Kensington's garlic everything sauce.
Garlic everything sauce.
Another Sir Kensington's chili lime crema everything sauce. That actually sounds really good.
Okay.
We have some Dijon mustard.
Why is it so juicy?
This isn't hyping me up at all. We have several different options for chia. We have smashed strawberry. What is that? Concord grape, raspberry,
so
and
these
blueberry.
are little jam packets that are supposedly superfoods.
Oh, jam. Okay.
Okay. So.
Well, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
What is this?
And then, that is artichoke dip.
Spinach artichoke dip.
Yeah.
Crackers, bread, chips. And plenty of fish.
All right. So my children have just informed me they can't find Joe. So I'm sure that's fine. Okay. So we will do this, so Katlyn, what would, okay. You know what I'm going to try first? All of these cute girls swear up and down that mussels are the thing. So
I guess get the worst over first.
Yeah. Okay. So what should I have it with? So we have, I feel like spinach and artichoke dip. You're like, it's all so bad.
Yeah.
Could you rip off a hunk of that bread and
pass you a little plate?
Okay. All right. This is, could you put a little bit of spinach and artichoke dip on it? Okay.
Oh, on the bread, my
I
bad.
don't care. I don't know. I don't know how we do this.
I'm not fancy. I have no idea.
Caitlin is like, could I just taste test the chips?
Chips
You
would
know?
be good for me.
Yeah. Okay. So mussels. Okay. What are mussels? Do you know?
A clam of some sort? I thought that I don't know. It's all the same to me. So,
Okay. Well, look,
it
it
comes
doesn't.
out of a clam-like.
Okay. So again, those of you on YouTube, it looks like, I mean,
That's delightful.
it's okay. Here we go. All right, guys, for the first time in my life, I am trying a mussel, and I don't even know what it is. I just know that people on TikTok told me to try it. So, I'm actually kind of scared. Okay. Okay. Okay, I actually should not have tried that with the spinach and artichoke dip because it's all I can taste.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So then that means it can't be that strong.
Yeah, I would never know that there was a gooey little blob
Ew.
in my mouth. Oh, wait. Well, now I'm getting a salty aftertaste. Okay. So that is definitely there. All right. Now I'm going to try a mussel with a chip. I swear if these TikTok girls are lying to me, Caitlin. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I am not loving this aftertaste. I have to be honest with you. All right.
Mind over matter.
Okay. Here's the verdict on mussels. The initial taste is actually okay. I am not a huge fan of the aftertaste. Caitlin, is there anything that you feel like you wouldn't die on this table if you were to try?
Maybe the trout.
Oh, which one is trout? Is it this one?
This one right here.
Okay.
That's what it is, right?
Yeah.
I think so. The most normal looking one, you know?
Yeah. Well, this is pretty. This one here. This is. I have I have a very pale colored one that is okay. This is mackerel.
All right.
Oh, this is the one. Some guy on TikTok said that this one's actually really good. Should I make you a plate?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Okay. Wait. Hand me one of those large pieces of bread.
Yeah.
Or no, these
Cracker?
crisp breads.
All right.
Hand me a clean fork. Okay. I am going to take it's now this one definitely does look like a regular fillet of fish. So we have a crunchy little cracker here and a pale pink fillet of fish, half of which is on my mohair carpet. And let's see. Oh. I'll give, Caitlin, I know you want a huge piece, but I will give you a very small piece. And maybe you can add, okay, well, this a little chunk kind of fell down. Listen, they say it's very nutritious. It's very nutritious.
All right. I can handle
Okay,
a
so
lot
this
of
is,
things,
what did
but-
we say? This is mackerel. Okay, and listen, everyone on TikTok says this is like the best.
Let me just. Okay. I might die, but that's fine.
It's, I mean, I see the, okay, what's your verdict?
I'm actually pleasantly surprised.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now I need to try this.
It's closer to tuna to me.
Really?
I'll eat canned tuna, but that's about it.
Interesting. Okay. Well, see, I don't even like canned tuna. So that's one problem
That's
that we
literally the
have
only thing.
on my tinned fish journey. Okay, but
It does have that fishy-ish aftertaste.
see,
though.
it's the aftertaste. Okay, let's see.
I will not be going back for seconds.
No, I'm telling you, this is my new lifestyle. All
if
of
I
these
have
people,
to eat 10 fish.
they make it look so aesthetic. Okay, I'm going to try some of this. What do we say it is? Mackerel?
Mackerel, yeah.
Okay. And then we have 2 more to try. And then this actually leads up to the main point about those of you who don't know what your calling is. You don't feel like you have any special one thing that you're good at or that you want to do. Okay, I'm trying the mackerel with a barbecue chip. That is actually really good.
Mm-hmm. I was surprised because I hate fish.
Yeah.
But
This is Wild Planet wild mackerel in olive oil. So that's actually really good. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now I see why they were talking about that. That because I don't like tuna because it just tastes so fishy, but this is actually less fishy
than tuna.
Tuna's
now, at least for me, but
okay. So far that is a big winner. Wild Planet, wild mackerel. Okay, obviously none of this is sponsored. Now, Katlyn, if you would like to try this is the same person who said that the wild mackerel is insane, said that this rainbow trout is so good, and it has dill in it. So it is dill flavored. And if you want to try that, I will try one of the sardines that is on our carpet.
Thanks for taking mine.
This, yeah. Okay, all right. This just really does look like a... I wish you could have seen Joe's face when he walked in. Does it smell like fish in here?
You can't tell when you're in it.
So bad.
You can walk behind it.
Oh, wait, that's Joe's stool?
Yeah. Do we want any of these sauces?
Joe just said it smells bad. No, this is messing up my new lifestyle. Also, I spilled some on this white carpet. This is your stool, Joe, if you would like to sit down.
Okay.
That's muscle. Okay, Joe's trying mussels.
I'll be staying very long.
We made this studio smell like fish. I did not realize that. That we think is really good. Joe is now trying. Joe, the idea of tasting on a podcast is that we hear your reaction. You don't just like come in for a bite. So would you like to lean into this mic and tell us what you think so far?
Terrible and okay. Those are the two so far.
And I'm now holding up a dismembered sardine that's falling
Trout?
apart. Guys,
With dill.
listen.
Does it have bones or no? It looks like it's empty.
Well, you can eat them.
Oh, you can.
What do you think of the dill one?
This one?
Yeah. Lean into the mic.
The fish part seems okay. The flavoring is a little weird. Is that dill? You're saying?
Dill, yeah. This is all very healthy, Joe.
I actually like sardines, but this stuff is all terrible.
No, you didn't try the sardines. These are the sardines.
I'm not eating that sardine.
Wait, why?
What sardine would you eat?
Skinless, boneless, in oil.
They have that as an option.
He says he won't eat these sardines. They're skinless, boneless. Are they not?
Skin right there.
Oh, is that what that is? Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, that's gross.
Definitely gross.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Well,
this has been really fun.
Joe, all right, you've added a lot of value to the podcast. So what is your...
Wait, where's this one? Wild mackerel.
That's the one that you said was not terrible. Wild mackerel. Okay. So just lean in and give us your final verdict on the idea of making tinned fish a regular part of our lifestyle. Lean into the mic.
Well, so we've had sardines for a long time. I don't know if you're aware of that.
Yeah.
I always have sardines around. And they're good, but this stuff is terrible. So yeah, let's not buy this again. Can we write this off? This should be a business expense.
I'll buy it with my business card.
Serious.
Joe is concerned about me spending money on terrible food that made my studio smell like fish.
That last one.
It's not good?
It's the dill, especially, actually.
That's so fun. I mean,
horrible.
Think about this. How bad does your dill have to be that it's this little blob of tinned fish, and the worst part is the dill? You got to get your dill game in order if that's what's going on with you. Okay, so bottom line is we hated the mackerel, we hated the dill rainbow trout. Joe hates the sardines. You know what's interesting is I did not totally hate it, and somebody on TikTok was saying that it's good to eat sardines with the skin because whatever Katlyn's like, yeah, sure, yeah, I'll be doing that. Because whatever the shiny stuff is in the skin is good for your eyes. Oh, you know why the cat's meowing at the door?
Oh, because we got lots of fish.
Okay, actually, Katlyn, let the cat in and see if you can tell this is summer and we don't care anymore. That we're like. My husband stops by for 2 seconds to say that my studio smells like fish. We're just letting the cat in with a bunch of containers of fish. And then she's doing what cats do. She's just standing at the door. She's not coming in. That's so annoying. Oh, Well, let me get to the main subject of this show. Caitlin, would you text one of our children to deal with this cat? Since she could have come in and had some legit cat food. I mean, this is how you have to categorize this. It's high-end cat food. She does not know what she's missing. I really think they need to change the tins. It's not even a joke when I tell you I really think they use the same tins as cat food companies use. And see, psychologically, that's not helping me. It's not helping anything. Okay, so we have established, though, that eating tinned fish will change my life and solve all of my problems. So I think if I eat the mackerel and then maybe some of the sardines, I think that can really kind of pull everything together for me. And these people are like, you can eat it on the go. Like not on a plane.
No.
Can you imagine if I'm like spilling this all over myself on a plane? I should do that as a help to like moms who have a crying baby. If everyone's mad.
Yeah.
Hang on, I have fish stuck in my teeth.
Ew. It's
so terrible. It won't come out. Okay. Well, the dangers of doing things quote unquote live. Yeah, like if people are mad at a mom who has a crying baby on a plane, I'll just crack open my can of mussels and then they'll hate me like 10 times more.
Can't get noise canceling headphones for that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Nose canceling. So, here is I would like to defend going on these random tangents of like in this case my tinned fish hyperfixation. And those of you who haven't quite found your calling yet, or like maybe you don't have one particular calling. What I would say to that is when we talk about knowing what your blue flame is, that what your passion that you're meant to share with the world in some kind of way or the other, the goal of it is it's not like for the work itself. Like if your blue flame is acting, we don't think of it as like the reason you're doing this is to get an Academy Award. No, the reason you're doing it is to be your best and highest self in a way that blesses others. So, if for example, if you're a workout person and you literally only go that extra mile to stare at yourself in the mirror, that's a little bit misguided. But if your blue flame is working out and you use that extra strength and energy to either help other people get fit or to just have extra energy for the people in your life and inspire them to live a little bit more healthfully, then that's the whole purpose of a blue flame, is to be more alive. And I've really started to think that some people are really not meant to settle in on one thing. They are meant to go down a lot of different tangents. They are meant to explore a lot of different areas. And when they do that, it makes them feel alive and it blesses others. So for example, if like me, you end up on a tinned fish craze, you would be surprised at how alive that will make you feel, and then how much it'll end up at least entertaining others when you pursue that interest. So here's what made me think of all of this. So I was in Whole Foods today looking for tinned fish for our tasting board here, and so first of all, I did not know that there was a Whole Foods in this location, and it's pretty close to me. So first of all, that's a whole thing that was just cool. Whole Foods is a nice place to shop. It is not, can't shop for a family of 8 at Whole Foods. I mean, like the CEO of Whole Foods, Jeff Bezos, can't shop at Whole Foods for a family of 8. But I do like to go there. You know, when you go into Whole Foods, you feel like I'm rich. Even if you can only afford to get 2 things there, just the fact that you're in the store, you're like, I'm am I better than people who are at Walmart right now? I think I am. I mean, it's just, there's something very elevating about even walking in that store. So first of all, it just kind of put me in a good mood and gave me a lot of energy to even walk in to this Whole Foods. And again, I would not have known that there was one near me if I hadn't been on this hyperfixation tangent about tinned fish. So I go in there, I discover this Whole Foods, and then of course I'm telling Katlyn about it. I'm telling my kids about it. Now my kids they're trying to stage an intervention to get me to stop doing this so that every room in our house does not smell like fish. And I will tell you, it has really added a lot of energy to the house. Now I've got people arguing with me about it on Instagram and how gross it is and how I need to stop. It has brought a lot of fun to a lot of people. Now, in this case, this is not exactly my blue flame. This is just me being too easily influenced by hot influencers. But I think this is the same kind of mechanism of what happens for those of you who have never settled on one particular passion. I think exploring lots of different things and using those temporary interests of yours to bless people and to just make yourself more energized and alive. I think that is a calling in and of itself, because again, I think, our society is so results oriented. Our society is so results oriented that when you're doing something, when you're exploring something, it's all about, are you going to make $1 million at this? Are you going to, you've taken up jogging as an interest? Are you going to run an Ironman? It's like, it's not really about the final result. It's about the person you become when you're exploring this kind of thing, and about the elevated energy that it brings into your life and into the lives of people you love. Like when I went on my one of my phases, not to imply that tinned fish is a phase. I mean, this is a permanent part of my lifestyle, like forever. So one of the things it's so funny that this cat is losing her mind at the door because she can just smell the fish like wafting from under the door. Like she is losing her mind. So our society gets very focused on results, and the whole point of doing any kind of activity that you feel moved to do, that you feel called to do, is the person you become in the process, and again, the elevated energy that you bring to the people around you. And so I think that if you are one of those people who is constantly into new things, you're learning about car repair one week, and you're learning about, I don't know, like sailing like my husband and another week, and you're learning how to be a master swimmer the next week. I don't think that that's a problem. And I don't think that you need to be looking for the one thing that you're finally going to settle on. For example, a while back, one of my temporary fixations was I decided that I was going to be a big jump roper. And I've mentioned this to you guys before, that you may recall me saying that so my brain working the way it works, I bought a book about jump roping, and then I didn't feel like I fully had completely understood it. So then I bought a second book about jump roping before I had ever jumped a single rope. And then I had this thing where I had to listen to a certain number of audiobooks while I was jump roping, but then I was convinced that it gave me a ligament issue because I'm also a hypochondriac. And so I had one pain and decided that now I was disabled because of my jump roping. And it did, man, I will tell you, living with me, there's always something, you guys don't pray for Joe quite enough. But it brought energy into the house. I mean, Joe thought it was very fascinating that he lives with someone. He would see me in bed, and during the day in bed with a book open about jump roping. And he said, you know, some people would just do it. And I told you before, I was like, you know, you can't just jump into it. like I didn't even realize the pun. Oh, I forgot this was a long time ago, like 2002. I also bought a book about hiking. And I never went on a hike, but I did read about it. So it's fun for people. This quote is, it's often attributed to like St. Ignatius. He didn't say it though. I think it was like St. Irenaeus or somebody said, the glory of God is man fully alive. And I think that some of you like to, I think your blue flame is exploring as many different aspects of the human experience as possible. So one day you might spend 4 hours going till 2:00 in the morning on Google Earth, learning about the natural vegetation in Turkmenistan. And that might actually be really interesting to you. And then the next day you're telling your sister or your kids or whoever, like, oh, did you know that their main export is this? And like the reason why it's so hard to get a visa is this, because and people are like, wow, that's really random, but that it really made you alive. You're excited. You want to tell people about it. And then you go on a tangent where you're learning all about the hiking trails in your area, and you try out a whole bunch of different hiking trails, and then you do that. And then you're learning about whatever, knitting, and then you're watching the greatest movies of all time. You're watching the top 10 greatest rated movies of all time, that sort of thing. I think to you guys, it can feel like you are wasting time, or it can feel like you're lost because you've never found that one thing. But I would say, if you're doing it right, I think you have found your thing. I think it's exploring as many aspects of just being alive and enjoying this one shot on God's green earth as you can. And you're getting the same result as those of us who have one thing. So my one thing is comedy, or you could say more broadly, just writing. I like using words to make people laugh and to bless people, whether that's in books or stand-up comedy or whatever. But comedy. Comedy is my blue flame, stand-up comedy. And it is my one thing. It's my fixation. I do not have other interests, hobbies, or anything like that, except for tinned fish, which is more of a lifestyle than an interest. It's more like the foundation of my life. It's not like just some add-on. It's like breathing air, eating tinned fish for me. So why did God give me this one thing? Is it so I can become a millionaire and make a lot of money from my podcast? Well, that hasn't quite happened yet. But what is the result I have gotten from following this blue flame? Well, it's that it's a lot of fun, and it does, brings in some income, but let's set that aside. Like, I make a good income from it. Let's set that aside. It has, even if I just did local shows and this were a hobby, it has brought so much energy into my family. My kids love talking to me about this. I've met new people. One of the ways Katlyn and I have stayed connected is through her work on the podcast. And of course, we're friends as well. But just having this work kind of kept us connected when she moved to a different place. And it's brought other people into my life. It's allowed me to travel. And just long story short, having my one passion has made me, one, more alive, more full of energy. And two, it has given me a method through which I can share that increased passion and energy with the people I love. So does it matter if you're doing that through many things or through one thing? I would say it doesn't. And if you feel like maybe there is one thing out there for you that you just haven't found yet, okay, keep exploring that. But I would say that I would just sort of test that. I would say, how do I feel if I just let that go? How does it change my mood? How does it change my self-perception if I say, you know what, maybe I don't have a one blue flame, a one thing that I'm going to narrow in on, and is that fine? Can I live with that? How does that sound to me? And if you feel a lot of relief when you think that, I think that's you. And my husband is that way. Sailing has slowly started to become his kind of one blue flame thing, but that is only very recent. Before that, for all the years I knew him, he was one of those people who would just go, he would explore a whole bunch of different things, and he was always onto a new thing. And there was no problem with that. I thought it was fascinating. I thought all of his little things that he learned about were so interesting. To give you one example, a few years ago, he decided he wanted to know everything about the Spanish explorers who first came to the United States. So the guys who went up through Texas and into, I don't know, Kansas, wherever it was they went. He was sourcing books that were published in 1860, and he'd search the open records database to find some scanned PDF of some book that was written by a professor over 100 years ago about something that happened 500 years ago. I mean, it was crazy, but it was so fun because we'd talk about it at night. We'd sit out on the back porch, and honestly, some of the stories were incredible. They were so interesting to me, and I would never have learned that if Joe hadn't gone on that quote unquote tangent. So if it gives you peace when you think, maybe I'm just not a one thing person, maybe my blue flame is learning as much about the world as possible, then that's it. Then I think you found it. I think that's it. I think you should always be exploring a lot of different things and do it, do it intensely. Don't just half-heartedly do it. I mean, don't just try one tin of fish. You better set up a whole charcuterie board, make your friends try it, like make your husband try it. I mean, go all the way. I will tell you that there's no point in being lukewarm in stuff like this. I mean, who wants to talk to someone who's lukewarm? Think about that. If I'd been sitting on the back porch with my husband when he was in his Spanish explorer phase, if he'd just been like, oh, I don't know, I read one chapter of a book, I guess it was okay. Well, that's a boring conversation. That doesn't bring any interest to my life. But the fact that he went all in, he was like, Jen, you will not believe it. So I called the Austin Library. They called the Corpus Christi Library, who called this one guy at night at his house who has the last remaining copy of this book that was an actual diary of one of the guys who was out there with LaSalle, and well, LaSalle was French, but you know what I mean, with all these other guys, and he found it, and I'm going to read it because I just finished reading about the exploration. Listen, it was so fun. Even if I didn't care about history, it was just so fun to get in on his energy. And what was the result of it? I don't know. Who cares? Like, he had more energy and it gave me more energy. Same thing with my blue flame. What is the result? I mean, comedy millions coming down the pike, of course. Yes. But is that what matters? Well, I mean, it wouldn't hurt, but it's actually not. I mean, really, this career, this blue flame of mine has added so much value to my life and to my family's life, so much energy, so much excitement. And that is what matters. And you get that too, even when you have kind of like mini blue flames that last a week. And by the way, and if you do think, what if I just let go of the idea of having one calling and it does not give you peace? That I would say the way to find it is to keep doing that one-off exploration. And then one day you will find the one that you just can't quit, that it feels like a healthy addiction. You want to spend more and more time on this. You'll find it eventually, but that's the way to find it. So whether you think you might have that one calling that you haven't found yet, or you have peace with just doing, little interests here and there, either way, the solution is to just get out there, follow that interest, and follow it to the nth degree, even if it makes your workspace reek of fish. This is a slightly shorter episode than usual because I have a hunk of halibut stuck in my teeth. I've been worried that people can see it for the past 15 minutes. I'm going to deal with my tinned fish fiasco, and we will be back with you next week here on the Jen Fulwiler Show.